Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Abhinav. So in this video, we are going to discuss about the problem D1 of Codeforces round 809, which is chopping calories. Okay. So in this problem, you are given with an array of integers a1 to an of length n and an integer k. The cost of an array of integers from p1 to pn is defined by maximum of all the maximum value which we will get when we divide ai with pi separated by its minimum value. So this is what we have to do. So let's take an example. Okay, to understand at what it is asking us. It is asking that, for example, the array A is of size, let's say n is 4. Okay, and array A is 5, 8, 10, 12. Okay, this is the array A. We have to create the array P. That is our own choice. Okay, that is not given. Such that the maximum for all the values of ai by pi minus minimum of all the values for ai pi is minimum. We want this to be minimum. We want this to be minimum. So there is the first observation which we have to observe. The observation is that if we have to want this thing to be minimum, that is the difference of two numbers. We want difference of two numbers to be minimum. For example, we want that x minus y should be minimum. So we will always try that x should be equal to y, because if x will be equal to y, their difference will be 0 only. Or we will try that x should be more close to y, so that their difference is minimum. That is okay. So the first thing which we will try कि x जो है y के equal हो जाए, x will be equal to y. That is the first thing we will try. उसके बाद अगर नहीं होता, then we will try that y will be equal to x plus 1, or sorry, x is equal to y plus 1. That may be the difference 1, maybe difference 2. So that we will try. This is the first observation we have to make. If we have to make this minimum, that we want that the maximum of this should be equal to minimum. So what they want, for example, this p arrays, let's say 1, 1, 2, 2. Okay. So if we find the value of this array, which is ai by pi, the floor value of this, okay, so it will be something like 5 by 1 is 5, 8 by 1 is 8, 10 by 2 is 5, 12 by 2 is 6. So if we find the minimum of this array, the minimum of this array is 5, and the maximum of this array is 8. So its difference will be 8 minus 5. That will be the answer in this case. If a is this and p is we have taken is this. So we have to find such p such that their difference is minimum. Their difference is minimum. Okay. So as I told you, to make it this difference minimum, what we will try? We will try that this particular y, or you can say the maximum of this array, should be equal to the minimum of this array, so that their difference would be minimum or 0. And if the maximum and minimum is not equal, it cannot be equal, so we will try that the difference between maximum and minimum should be minimum. That is what we have to do. And then we have to output that minimum difference. Okay, so what we will do, we will first find the minimum value in this given array. So we can just find the minimum value of this particular array which is given to us. Okay, and then what we will do is, what we can do is that first let's take it. Okay, let's take it like, which is 5, 8, 10 and 12. This is a. So what we will do, हमें क्या करना है? We want that the value of ai minus pi should be equal, that all the elements in this array should be equal. Why we want all the elements to be equal? Because if all the elements of this array will be equal, then its minimum and maximum element will also be equal, and then their difference will also be equal. If their minimum and maximum are equal, then their difference will also be 0. Sorry, not equal, it is 0. And that is what we want. We want minimum difference. So we will try to make all the elements of this ai and pi equal, and such that we will find the value of pi, so that all the elements of this should be equal. But what value? Either we want these elements to be equal to 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, or we want them equal to 4, 4, 4, 4. Which value? to which value it is possible. The thing is that we can only make these elements, the elements of this array, from 1 to the minimum value only. We can make this 5 to 2. We can make this 10 to 2. How we can make this 5 to 2? If our p is 2, then 5 by 2 will be 2. How we can make this 10 to 2? If here p is 5, so we can make 10 by 5 2. This is how we can make it. So hum log, what we will do, we will just check that can we make all the elements of this array equal to a given value or not. And this basically, this value will range from 1 to the minimum of this whole array. That is what we will do. So if I will just move towards the code part, okay. So I just want that जैसे जैसे मैं समझाता हूँ वैसे आपको कोड बताता हूँ. Fine. This is the code. Okay. Just see here that what I am doing. Okay, what I am doing. So first here we have our mx. Okay, mx. So first I found the maximum element and minimum element in that array. If the maximum and minimum element of that array is already equal, means if its this difference is already 0, then we have to just output 0. We don't have to do anything. Other than what we are doing, we are taking a loop from 0 to the minimum element, and then what we will do, we will try to make all the elements of the array equal to that element. We will try कि सारे elements जो हैं उस array के उस element के equal हो जाएं, और अगर equal नहीं हो सकते हैं तो उस elements के आसपास हो जाएं, close to that element. That is what we will try. Okay, now let's see. Okay, let's see how we can do that. So for example, let's say that in this given case what we will do, हमारी जो array है that is 5 8 12 and let's say 15. Let's say 15. Okay, this is our array. This is our array. Okay, and let's say that we want that so we will take an array from 0 to 5 only. We will try that all the elements of that arrays will become 0. हम लोग try करेंगे सारे elements 0 हो जाएं. Then we will try कि सारे elements 1 हो जाएं. Then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. That is what we will try. Okay? So let's say that we want that all the elements of this array should become equal to 4. That is what we want. Okay, so to make this element is equal to 4, is it possible or not? How we can check it? So we will divide it by 4, it will be 1. When we will divide this value by 4, it will be 1. And if after dividing this 5 again by this value, which is 1, if it is giving 4, that means we can make 5 to 4 after dividing with a particular value. And here you can see this is not 4. इसका मतलब है कि हम लोग 5 को किसी भी नंबर से डिवाइड कर लें, कभी भी 4 नहीं आ सकता आउटपुट. You can check. So if we cannot obtain 4 from this particular digit, so we will try to make it the closest number to 4, and this is the closest number to 4 which we can get from this, which is 5. Okay, which is 5. Fine. So these are two steps we will do. First we will, if this value is x, means we have to make all the elements of this array to x. So first we will divide that element by x, which is 4 in this case. This is x. Okay, and then again this is the, for example, this is y which we have obtained. Again we have to divide that value with y, and then what we will get, that is the value which we can get. For example, here we can get 5, we cannot get 4, and 5 is the closest value to 4. For 8 you can see that when we will divide this 8 by 4, we will get 2, and when we will divide this 8 by 2, we are again getting 4. So yeah, that means that yeah, we can get 4 through 8 by dividing it by 2. So we can write here that yeah, we can get 4 from it. What we try, we are trying कि इस पूरी array को हम लोग, this is the array ai minus pi. What we are trying कि जो ai minus pi है ना, ai by pi sorry, ये सारे इसके सारे elements 4 हो जाएं, और अगर 4 नहीं होते तो close to 4 हो जाएं. That is what we are trying. Now we will try that this 12 should become 4. Is it possible? Yeah, it is possible. When we will divide this 12 by 3, it will become 4. So yeah, it is possible. We can make it 4. Here we are writing that what number we can make. Now we will try if 15 4 हो सकता है कि नहीं. First divide 15 by 4, it will be 3, and when we will divide 15 by 3, it will be 5. That means again 15 cannot be transferred to 4. It cannot be transformed to 4. It can be transformed to 5. So we can make it 5. And when now we will just find the minimum and maximum value of this array. So minimum element from this array is, minimum is 4 and maximum is 5. So the difference is 1. Similarly, we can do this for all the value of x from 0 to 5, or you can say from 0 to minimum element of this array, of that array. And then by doing this, then by finding the minimum and maximum, then finding difference, we can just get the answer. That is what we are. Here we have to also handle our corner case, which is 0, which is for this 0. That is what we have to handle. Okay, so that we will understand in the code. So we have to handle this corner case when x will be 0. So first move towards the code part to understand it more clearly. So here you can see that I have taken a loop from 0 to minimum value. Okay, and then I am I am just finding that loop which is ai by pi, this particular value. I am just finding this, and for that there are two operations. Okay, first just ignore that for now. Just ignore that corner case which is when I is equal to 0. Just don't ask for I is equal to 0. Just go for this case. So when I is not equal to 0, we will also consider this case. So when I will be not equal to 0, then we are just doing that thing, that if this y is equal to pj minus pi, so this is y is the number which should be divided by that element so that we can get I. Okay, this is the number. You can see here. You can see in the example case here that what I was saying. First we have to divide. For example, the vi is means that current element is 12. So we will find yy. What is yy? 12 divided by x, which is 4 in this case. It will be 3. So ये कह रहा है कि 3 is the number which should be divided by 12 to get 4. Means basically the value of pi is 3. That is what it is saying. The 3 is the number which should be divided by 12 to get 4. Okay, this is the case which it is saying. Fine. And if that y is greater than k, why? Because there is a case in the problem, you can just see it, that the elements of this pi array should be from 1 to k. Okay, so if this y is greater than k, so we will make it k only, because it cannot be greater. And then we can just find the elements which we can form, and then we can find the minimum and maximum of that element. Not a corner case. The corner case is that if the value of I is 0, means we have to make all the numbers of that, array to 0. So obviously, if we want to make all the numbers of the given array to 0, we have to divide it by a larger number. For example, we have to make this x to 0, so we can divide it by x plus 1 or divide it by x plus 2, then it will become 0. So means then we should divide it by a number which is greater than. Fine. So now here I have written, so to make a number vi, equal to 0, we should want a number which is greater than vj. Okay, and if vj is itself greater than k, that means we can make it. Means if k is greater than vj, that means we have a number which is greater than vj and we can make it 0. So let's take 0 here. And if we cannot make that vj to 0, then we will try कि भाई सबसे ज़्यादा नंबर क्या कर सकते हैं हम लोग. For example, let's take that here our element is 15. Let's take that our element is 15 and value of k is 3. So to make 15 to 0, we want it to divide by 16 at least. But because we can only divide it by a number from 0 to 3, so we will try to make it close to 0. So we will divide it by k, which is 3. So it will be 5. और किसी भी नंबर डिवाइड कर लो, बड़ा ही कुछ आएगा. It cannot be, if we divide by 2, it will be 7. If we divide by 1, it will be 15. It will not be close to 0. So that is what we are doing. I hope you got it. This is the whole solution. Then after that, for each value of max and min, we are just finding answer. Okay, and because we want answer to be minimum, we want minimum difference. So that is out. That is what I have done. And this is my solution. It is not yet checked. Will be okay. So this is what I hope that you have got the problem. If you have any doubt, you can just comment it down, or you can also join a Telegram where you can ask your doubt. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn where I post daily updates regarding coding and other opportunities. You can subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you.